tomorrow, which I appreciate, and I will be right there with you. Excited about that one. As far as this one's concerned, I was really pleased with our guys' effort. I think, when you're playing a team that shoots 45 to 50% of their shots are threes, it's always a dangerous game. And we were able to take away that strength. I like I've said, I really like John a lot and have a lot of respect for his team. I think tonight, I think we were able to take them out of some things, but I really do think he's got a new group in some ways, guys playing different roles, but I think they're going to have a good year, and we certainly wish Purdue Fort Wayne well. And like I said, I've got a lot of respect for John and the job he does. We'll move forward. Quick turnaround against a team that is I think, really good. Anytime you're playing a MAC team that's in-state, that has the level of athletes and the level of success that Kent State has had, it is, there's a lot of preparation that needs to happen between now and Monday night. They're undefeated. They're undefeated for a reason. They've had some great road wins. They won at Wright State, which was a terrific win, and they won at Towson. Towson almost beat Florida at Florida. So we need to play well, and we need to have a couple days of rest and hard work and preparation for Kent State.
Chris, the first half, there were a couple of times where guys got a quick hook after maybe a mistake. Were you happy with the attention to detail, even as you're building a big lead and controlling the game?
Yeah, it can get better. It can get better in some areas. I think a couple occasions we were sloppy with the ball. That's when we took a couple guys out, but it can get better. But I give our older guys a lot of credit right now because they set the tone for how we want to defend and play, and that's a credit to them. And if that gets inconsistent, then that'll be an indictment of me and them. So we've got to try to keep that in a consistent way. But the Wessons and CJ and Kyle, those guys are hungry I think, to be a good defensive team. But we were not always as detailed as we needed to be.
There was a play in the second half, and you guys had a run to open it, and CJ had the steal. He brought it up court, and he could have forced something, but he kind of pulled it out, fed it to Kyle. Kyle fed it back to him. He hit a three. When you talk about, seniors and calming things down and upperclassmen, a play like that from CJ, is that what you're looking for in situations like that and in games like this?
Yeah. I think I've said that about CJ Walker. His leadership has been phenomenal, really, from day one with this group. And, I think he struggled early, probably still will at times, getting back after sitting a year out. But his leadership's been great. He and DJ play well together. And they play off each other well, and we'll continue to look at that lineup some.
Kaleb missed his first 4 threes all in the first half, and then he comes out in the second half, and he comes out firing. I think he made 2 in the first 2 minutes, and then he made another one. Is that sort of an example of when the shot's open, no matter how he's shooting, you still want him to have confidence in that kind of shot?
I do. He's a really good shooter. I don't want good shooters passing up good shots. And if I didn't see him every day, and if we didn't chart every one of his shooting workouts in the summer, then I don't know. We've got a base of knowledge on the kind of touch that he has, and it's easy to lose him too because big guys they're pulled to the paint anyway. So I thought maybe there might have been 1 or 2 in the first half that wasn't great, to be honest with you, but I thought the rest of them were good, even a couple that he missed. And I told him, I said, I think there might be a game where you're 1 of 4, but it's late and there's 3 minutes to go in crunch time and it's a 1-possession game. If you're open and the balls move, I want you to shoot it.
Is there a sense from you and the rest of the coaching staff about EJ that he's just feeling more comfortable right now, just on the court and his movements? It just seems like he's in a better place right now than maybe he was nervous earlier.
Yeah, I think there's some of that. I think the biggest thing with him, he's a really gifted offensive player. And I think we'll continue to see that. You guys will continue to see that. Obviously, we've seen it watching him. Motor and rebounding and defense, those have to just continue to grow and improve. When that does, I think you'll see that he'll have an impact because, he can score the ball. He really can, and he was able to do that today when we needed it.
Chris, there was a play in the first half out of a timeout where Kaleb showed her a post up and the attention came to him and then he threw a lob on the backside of the Zoe. Was that a draw up or is that something you guys have had in?
Bill. Hopefully no one else in the league is watching this, or that was a draw up. Yeah, that was a draw up. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. They're not going to not watch this game, but yeah, that was a draw up.
I was just asking that. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a part of our package that we ran very few times last year, but it was a little bit of a different alignment because of how they ice ball screen, so we had to get into a little bit different way.
I just wanted to ask that to set up this. You have a young team, but I think you might have mentioned Villanova there. You drew something up. You got a dunk out of that. Just what's this team's level of doing stuff like that within the flow of a game? Maybe it's things they're not totally familiar with or newish kind of things.
Yeah.
Do they pick stuff up, I don't know, any better than maybe you might anticipate it because they're so young? Or
I think we got to get more guys picking up those kind of situations that are new to them and or something we haven't run in a couple games. We have more, to be honest with you, right now, we probably have more situations where we don't run or don't execute the right way. It's part of having a young team, but we have more of that than we had this time last year. So our execution does have to get better. In that situation, it was really good. We have the Wessons are really smart players. We have a lot of smart players, but when you're throwing some young guys in there, we got to get better at that.
When you are in these games where you build the big lead early, how important is the defensive intensity, doing the right things fundamentally for you? You called a timeout one time, it looked like, to talk about the defensive stuff. How much does that need to continue, even as the lead grows offensively, for you to be satisfied with a game like this?
Yeah, I think I think we had some slip-ups. Two's a really good catch-and-shoot guy, the transfer from Kansas State, has the ability to get going, and I didn't think we closed out well enough to him on a couple occasions, and that was the conversation we had in those moments. We're going to be playing in tighter games where an open catch-and-shoot three that has been clearly, specifically said on the scouting report, he cannot get catch-and-shoots threes off. We'll lose a game in situations like that. So I think we can get better in those areas, and that's why you're trying to address it in those moments.
Kind of address EJ again, like you said it yourself. He's a gifted offensive player, can really score the ball. But now he's on a team where you're not necessarily needing of that from him every single night like it is in high school. So is it more just him finding stuff to do on the court, I guess?
Yeah, but we're going to need him. He's going to be an integral part of our. He had a big shot right against Cincinnati when we desperately needed it. He's going to be in a lot of those moments. So right now, when the minutes are there, and he's not played a lot because of the last two games, the nature of the last two games, but he's got to continue to get comfortable because we're going to need him. Monday will be, I'm sure, a much tighter game. He's going to need to be ready for that.
Defensively, like you've held teams under 35% shooting every single game. Eventually, someone's going to hit shots, regardless of how good you guard them or not. And I guess, what are you telling your team defensively to just kind of keep them engaged and understanding that, eventually, regardless of what we do, there's going to be a team who can knock down shots?
Yeah, I think when that happens, we got to be able to respond the right way. Teams are going to be able to, teams are not going to shoot, under 35%, consistently. We're 5 games in. I think we've got a long ways to go. The competition, we played all of our games at home, right? So there's a perspective required in this. And what we have to do is we've just got to find a way to take from this and learn from it and move forward on Saturday, tomorrow in practice, and and prepare well for Monday. But, yeah, it's not going to remain like this.
I guess along those lines, and this might change by the end of tonight, you're third in defensive efficiency in the country. It's only been 5 games, like you said. Is there a point where you start, or I don't know, a point in the season where you might look at that and say, like, okay, this is starting to feel like a little bit of proof of concept? I don't know if if you have like a hard number in your head even that you get to that point.
Yeah, I think about, and I've talked to Ken Pomeroy about this. Is there a sample size that he would use and that he does use? But for me, I think once we're 12 to 15 games in, and more than a handful of those games have been similar talent level, I think is when you really get to understand the potential of your team defensively. Now, I think we're committed to it on that end. I think that we have guys that have real ability on that end to move their feet and keep guys in front. I think Kaleb's ability to protect the rim continues to get better and really help us. So I think we have some potential there. But 12 to 15 games and 10 of those would against similar competition, I think you can begin to form something.
Ahrens played almost 8 minutes. Is he physically getting where he needs to be, or?
Yeah, it's day to day with him. It's day to day with him, but it wasn't. I didn't hold him out in this particular game because of injury. He's got to continue to practice and practice harder and practice with the right approach. I'm on him about that. I think he will. I love Justin. He's got a great attitude, but he's got to fight through this injury with and the recovery from it and the setback from it with the degree of toughness that's required. And I think when he does that, he's going to continue to see the dividends.
He looks like a stack. Look like he
Yeah.
can't get in
He's
the
lost
gym at
about
all.
10 pounds. Yeah. You and I lose 10 pounds, no one notices, but I shouldn't say that. If I lose 10 pounds, no one notices. You're a fine, slender man. But him, yeah, you notice right away. One more.
How sick, limited were you tonight?
So Dwayne had a fever today. DJ was throwing up, missed practice 2 days ago. C.J. Walker missed practice yesterday with a hip injury that happened in practice. And Dre's still kind of getting back. So those were the guys that missed time.
And any thoughts on going back to St. John and just kind of what that atmosphere was like last year and what you get out of getting to play another game there?
Excited about it, really excited about it. I hope, as I said when I got in here, we Buckeye Nation, we got some work to do tomorrow at noon. But once that gets over, I hope that we have a great crowd. Again, we're playing a really quality opponent, and I hope we have a great crowd. It's a different venue, and that'll take some getting used to, but love playing in that environment. And please, I'm off social media, but last year when we played this, I had so many of our great fans talk to me about, Coach, can we move all of our games over there? All right? So I'm off social media, but you can save those. I understand the love and the affinity for St. John Arena. I have the same. This is our home, but I understand everybody's perspective on that. Can appreciate it. I don't even know. That's probably something I should know, Adam, but I don't know. I would assume.
Are you going to bring that seat back?
We'll see. Yeah, it's 1-0, so we'll see.
Do you prefer the pregame playlist here or at St. John?
Is there a different one you're saying? The playlist?
Yeah.
The music playlist? I don't pay attention to either. Okay, the only playlist I pay attention to is the one that I play before and after practice, and that's different than the one we hear here. All right, thanks, guys.